All right. This is a video for, I'm going to do a series of back and forth lessons with video with my nephew, who is a very athletic golfer, has a good swing, but has some basically control problems. Hits it fat a lot, hits giant hooks and slices, things like that. Hits it a mile, but not in a very controlled way. So I think the thing that you need to learn in golf is mostly not like do this, do this, do this. It's become aware for the golfer themselves, what are the parameters that I'm controlling that will make things happen. So if you can understand those parameters and then sort of lock some things into place and say, okay, if that's this and that is together, now I know I'm always going to, in this case, the one I'm going to go for is controlling the relationship of face to path. So the reason I like to think that that's a good one to start with is I think it's easy to start with some idea of I'm going to set up in a certain way and that's going to control things. And the reality is your body might use that setup and then have to make some motion adjustment to make that setup work, and so then you're always sort of fighting this compensation and it's not very reliable. So you want to find it much more internal. So you find your setup by getting a motion and then figuring out where to land that motion so that the ball is going where you want it to go. So we're going to start with a kind of basic understanding of the swing here. So the swing has, Jim Waldron is the guy I got this from, but he calls it an illusion in the golf swing. The illusion being the golf swing is going around your body. So you want to swing around your body. The reality is the golf swing, ideally anyway, is much more this and this if you take out the rotation of your body. So your arms aren't doing this. Your arms are doing this. So now the reason for that is if I'm doing this and this whole relationship is not changing in this way. It's just going up. It's going a little bit toward the back and down. So it's up and down like a sort of chopping motion. And when I pair this motion with a turn, you can see that I've got now the regular swing, right? So from down the line, let me do it with my trainer because the trainer is going to give you the key. So the trainer will naturally put you into this kind of idea. So the swing is much closer to a line than it is to being like this. So much more vertical. The motion is much more vertical. The shoulders still are turning, right? I'm still turning 90 degrees or more if I could, but the path of my hands is not way behind my body and way this way. So I'll show you this direction. So I'm going to work this way and this way, this way and this way. So especially for someone who is much more around their body, they need to learn to get more this direction. So that's the one part is that. So work on that motion, and then that's pretty natural with this. And what's also natural is to not have any of this. So we're just going to work on just sort of medium energy swings. You still want to engage your body, still want to shift, great power, shift, and release through. And just be aware when you swing your trainer, okay, pick a focal point. What is my, say, right hand doing? And now when I get to my club, you can even just picture, okay, I'm still swinging the trainer. You'll be surprised how you instantly go, oh, Got to work with it like it's heavy. Got to keep that plane and face relationship. And now we'll just put one down. Just pick a random place to stand. So don't try to adjust where you're aiming at this point. Focus on keeping that relationship solid. So I'll show you one here. There's a little one, pretty straight, right? So everything being neutral, let's say. So also, let's do passive hands during this, because then you're also not adding some element to control that. So you're gonna find out, where are my hands neutral? So, and by that passive, I don't mean that you're not gripping it firmly. Grip it firmly, especially with the left. But then you don't want to be using your hands to square things. You want to find square. So there's my stance. See how that one is? That's pretty close to square. It's a little baby draw. That's kind of my normal shape. So what's likely to happen if you do this is you will have either some shot shape if you're very passive with your hands that is maybe extreme, and that's going to be a question of figuring out where exactly to place them. Or you might just be used to setting up, say, back in your stance, and then if that's the case, I'm going to go way right. But you can see if I solve the one problem first, right? So if first problem I solve is creating a club face that is neutral to my path when my hands are basically inactive. Firm but inactive, right? So if I can create that first, and I just have a very consistent path here, don't need to ever change that really. So have a consistent path there, get this neutral. I'm able to hit pretty straight shots over and over again. So solve this one first, then you figure out basically where to stand. If I stand too far away, I won't be able to. If I'm standing too far away, I'll have trouble controlling this probably. Actually did pretty good. But at any rate, find the place where this grip, this relationship, and maintaining this structure creates a pretty neutral ball flight. And then work on, where do I need to be for my swing to make all of that go where I want it to go. So there's obviously Lee Trevino standing 20 degrees open and having incredible control over where the ball went, because that's where he found his sort of neutral spot related to his motion, or Sam Snead did the opposite. So you find that in your own body. Find this neutral structure, work with the trainer, and just really just copy exactly this feel. That's all you really need to do. Just copy the feel of this more vertical path and how your body is moving that. Picture it in your mind. Still swinging the trainer. Still swinging the trainer. Still doing that. Still swinging that. And hitting pretty decent shots. So that's it. That's lesson one. Back and forth, constantly get a reminder of how it feels with the trainer and replicating that. And so you're going to be kind of a little bit, even though you have a very athletic swing, you want to feel like you're building a swing really entirely from scratch. If you take a swing and attempt to alter some little things, it's almost impossible, because you've got an ingrained motor pattern that might be pretty effective, but maybe not. And you don't have to give it up. In fact, you can't. It can't go away. So what you're building is sort of a idea of a swing number 2. And then start with like a pitching wedge, and you know, just relaxed shots, not necessarily full speed, not still using the full sort of sequence and power that you would in a swing, but you don't have to be hitting it as hard as you can. It's just more about path and correct application of force that the trainer is going to tell you what to do. So you just exactly replicate what the trainer does with your club, and you just have to, when you're swinging the club, you're observing, you're getting a feel from the trainer, and then you're observing if it is the same. So it's more observation than force. So your body will observe, and then you will say, okay, it's not really quite the same. Go back to the trainer. How is it different? Go back and forth until it feels the same. So then you got the feeling, it's in your body, and you just do it.